Tell me, do you remember the most powerful entry in Warhammer? I love that game. Today we go from Bloodthirster to Blood Angel and turn the Sanguino dude into a vessel of the gods. For that we use a little bit of hot glue because it's not warm enough already. Once I helped this poor soul escaping his packaging, I used a little bit of editing to remove the parts and flew over to remove all the mold lines on this pristine golden boy. By the way, have you any idea what I could do with these wings? They are very nice. I also removed most of the Blood Angel iconography, I say most because I missed one, and glued the parts together. And because today is going to be messy in a lot of ways, I took my workhorse hobby mat and prepared for sawing off some limbs. His arms to be exact. By the way, this is also a very nice sword. Any ideas? I cleaned the torso from the sawdust and cut away some of the unnecessary and unclean bits that were produced during this process. And then I cleaned my hobby mat because I really cannot stand this sawdust. It has the forbidden texture. After this neat little insight into my personal suffering, I removed the jump pack parts from his back. Strange design option in my opinion, but what do I know, I just cut these parts off. I changed his boring jump pack with an outlandish cool power pack of a normal Chaos Space Marine Legionnaire. Because this miniature, even if it is the focus, won't be the focus of this build. Sounds crazy, I know. And it wouldn't be one of my builds if there aren't some old wood bits somewhere on it. And with this one I went with an old wood Chaos Warrior sword, where I cut the ball joint in half, eyeballing the connection point. And for his left arm I went with a normal Chaos Warrior's chainsword and removed said chainsword. I really took my time with these fingers, redefined them to the last detail, because I wanted it to look like a normal fist. And glued both of the arms onto the miniature. But that looked somehow very weak. So I would have loved to load an earlier save point where I hadn't spent so much time redefining this hand, just to cut it off. And if you think this is a great bridge to announce my new gaming channel, you would be wrong. I tell you that in the end. Right now we focus on this claw here, right? This Laneshi claw is now his new hand because it looks more like a champion of chaos. I have to say I'm not sure if this is from a normal demonette or one from the mounted dudes. Dudettes, I guess. Let's stay with demons. It's cool, it's fitting, so on it goes. And because I don't really care for coherency, I used an 8-bounce head as his new head, as well as some generic Legionnaire shoulder guards. Because I even chaos within my chaos. For the next step I needed AK Interactive still water, but not the content, I needed a content holding device to wrap some thick aluminum wire around it. Cutting away some of that excess wire, bending it to the will of the gods so I could coat it with a little bit of hot glue. I don't own a hot glue gun yet, so I borrowed one from the missus and it turned out very helpful because it's very small, which is great for details. I guess I don't speak only for myself when I say I would have bought a bigger one, because orc mentality. And once everything was coated, I used this Keeper of Secrets sword and cut the arm a little bit shorter. I want these swirlies to represent a demon that is manifesting or clawing itself into reality, so the ends of these will become some demon parts. I drilled a hole into the arm to have a stronger connection point and sharpened the wire so it's really strong. Nice script. A tiny amount of superglue just for the initial connection, and after some minutes of drying time, I used the hot glue gun again to blend these two parts together. I also want to thank my patrons and channel members twice this time, first for their continued support and secondly for this amazing idea today. These Chosen of Chaos always can voice their I want to see wishes, and I will make sure to do what I can to fulfill them. So thank you. This hot glue stuff is really amazing. If you want to have an additional swirly, or however you want to call this, you can just add one. No struggle. I used the third one where I placed the head of a Zinchian demon prince. And after that I refined them with some green stuff chains to resemble some more strange warp and unwarp-like stuff. The chains that bind or something, I don't know, it's a way too hot outside for my brain to working correctly. I figured something like this amazing old school Chaos Star would be the perfect addition for this base. I cut it into a weird angle so it does not stick out boringly, but has some kind of direction, and struggle to place it onto the base. And while you see me struggle, I would love to encourage you to leave a like, comment, subscription or use the hype function, as this really helps out and pushes this type of content to like-minded people. Which is amazing. Thank you. And after that, an additional bell on a chain to indicate the strange flow of gravity surrounding this event. And some more green stuff world chaos symbols that I sometimes cut in half, sometimes not, but placed all of them somewhere around these chaosy swirlies. Which is a struggle without pincers. But I couldn't find them because I'm sometimes very messy if I get into the artist mode. And speaking of mess, we have a happy little accident here, which I used to have another small little detail for the base. And with that said, I gave the miniature some Agrellan earth, primed it black and white, and went on with the painting. I asked, you answered, so let's do a pale jackal look-alike. I used 4 main colors on this one: white, black, magenta and dark purple, and painted magenta all over the chaos worlds. I mixed these on the fly and created different hues, so when I refer to a grey it's just black and white mixed into each other. We go full on kindergarten here and mush around with these colors. I wet blended black into it the closer I came to the actual demon bits and the ascended one himself. The sword gets a coat of these colors as well, wet blended into each other from black to grey over a dark purple at the top of it. I also was challenged to do a reverse OSL for this one, and I figured I interpret this in a shadowy demon kind of way, since it was way too warm to actually think about negative painting. I will do this sometime in the future though. And after that I gave the marine an underpainting of this lavender-like color, mixing dark purple and a greyish hue into each other. Sometimes even a little bit of magenta. It does not really matter in the end since it's just for the atmosphere. And when that was done, I painted a grey all over the armor panels, leaving the recesses as they are. I refined the shade-like demon parts with a dark grey, creating this shadowy demon look, at least in my mind. I hope it gets across. And after that I created a brighter magenta to brush over the chaos swirls, giving them some more highlights. Finally another color, dark rust and elfic flesh for the papers, scrolls and the belt around his hips. And when that was done, I highlighted some parts of the armor, like his left leg as well as his chest, with white, to give him a little more definition. And because he already looks like a pale jackal, let's try something new here. copper for the trim as well as for the Chaos Star. The eyes got a coat of abyssal turquoise, later defined with white, and the trim a shade of magenta ink by Vallejo because why not? As I said, I wanted to try something new here. And with all that done, I cleaned up some mistakes and called this miniature done. Only that I didn't. Here's the reason this video once again was a little delayed. I built a ritual circle for this dude here out of some foam and glass rocks, as well as some random plastic bits. I gave the entire thing a paint job of grays and magenta, added some purple and black grass tufts, and once all that was done, sounding like a broken record now, I call the miniature finally done. The captured moment of ascension. A demon clawing itself into reality. I think this miniature captures really good the moment where the champion thinks he's going to have it all, being ascended and such, only to realize that he might is just a vessel. I've seen this idea by an artist called the War Singer, so please check out his Instagram for more amazing stuff. Using some hot glue was definitely fun, and I guess this won't be the last time you'll see this stuff on this channel here. And speaking of channels, I started another one where I would love to invite you to. Sometimes between writing a script or cutting a video, I like to play some games to get rid of the unnecessary thought clogging up my brain, and maybe some of you are interested in this honestly low effort content. The link is down below, feel free to check it out. And now this won't affect this channel in any form as I play games anyway. Also, this is my little baby here. But coming back to this miniature, if you feel inspired by this one, I want to give you one last note. Copy the flow of movement of your original miniature. This makes the entire thing look way more coherent, and yeah, use the correct base size if you want to play with it. I guess bigger is always possible. And with that said, I once again want to remind you to do the thing and the stuff, and we are going to see each other in the next one. Which is Armageddon, by the way. If you stuck around till the end, just comment your favorite color. Let's confuse the comment section.